like I might be live. Alright, so let me just see if I can share the stream here. I don't know how to do that. Okay. There we go. Alright, Cat, I see you. Yep. The cat is definitely going to be part of the stream today. Oh boy. Hello. Fox, stop. Don't get that. Trying to get the freaking... There she goes. I want to open Discord in my browser. Can you please do that for me? Oh my God. So slow. I'm using a cat. Just run away from now. I'm using a Surface Book whose CPU cooler fans recently died, so it's super responsive like you would imagine, right? Super, just really high performance machine here. Oh boy, it is really not doing so well. And of course, OBS is not like, a resource like application for sure. Let me just share this in a couple of places since I gotta stream live here and get this on Facebook. It's on the Discord channel now. Looks like it's all working. Current resolution is 852 by 480, which is like basically what I only ever get. I'm not sure why I cannot get a stream to come through at 1080p, but it is what it is, and I do what I can. So yeah, today has been kind of a crazy day. So long story short, a buddy of mine in the Army linked me up with a buddy of his, also in the Army, who wrote a script to notify him when the GPUs of the day become available, namely the RTX 3070, 3080, and the RX 6800 and 6800 XT. And he was successful in purchasing the 6800 XT, and he's basically just running around out there being kind of Robin Hood and buying these on a credit card and then offering them to people for whatever he paid for them. He screenshotted me the price tag of this, and I paid him the shipping and exactly what he paid for it, and it was definitely legit in line with what retail value, what retail prices from places like Newegg or directly from other retailers, Amazon, etc. Are charging. So here it is, and all of it's just chonk sexiness glory. The RX 6800 XT, and in my crazy, twisted mind, the first thing I thought of was, what is the worst CPU I have in the basement? And so with that, I want to, roll the introductions. I'm Mike. This is my basement. I'm in the underbelly of the YouTube algorithm. I got my tasty libation. It looks like water. It's not. And today, I have a brand new 3 hours out of the package, RX 6800 non-XT reference card sitting on an, let me get this right, so I say it right, a Crosshair 5 Formula Z, it's an Ace board for sure, yeah, ROG Crosshair 5 Formula Z, that is hosting a Sempron, an AMD Sempron 145. That is AMD's last ever, as far as I know, and according to CPU World, last ever desktop single core processor. And that is just a microcosm of the way my mind works. Is probably the most powerful GPU I own. Let's just throw it on with the absolute weakest CPU I own and see how that works out. So as you can see on the desktop here, I've got 3D Mark teed up, freshly updated, and I figure, I should at least not stress test. I should at least run whatever the absolute whatever the hardest thing for a CPU to run would be, right? So I think I can run TimeSpy Extreme, although it's going to tell me that I'm not able to run this test. It's a 4K test, and I'm not sure if I do a custom run. I know there's a way to do enable virtual super resolution or something like that. So you're going to see oh no, it was already okay. The first time I tried the open Radeon settings on this Sempron, and oh by the way, the crazy noises you're probably hearing are my cat going absolutely ham on her cat tree. She's turning the camera around right now just so you guys can see this. She's going to stop as soon as I do it. My cat is going absolutely nuts on the cat tree, to which my microphone is attached. My Samsung G-Track Pro sitting on my Rode extension arm is attached to her cat tree, because again, I'm in my basement in front of a kitchenette sink, which I have hooked up to the water block of my Sempron. I water block the Sempron, fight me. So, man, I used to know how to do this. I just don't do this very often, but I know that there is a way to enable some kind of, hey, you can send 4K signal to your 1080p monitor here. Otherwise, we'll just run regular TimeSpy. Graphics. Display. She is going nuts on that battery. And frame strength not ported. Super resolution. Let's do that. I think that's the thing. I think this lets me send. What is the description? Allows applications to render resolutions higher than the displays and edit pixel grid and scales images down to that display. Yes, that is what we want. Okay, all right. So now we're going to run TimeSpy Extreme, because I want to put load on this GPU, because if I put any regular 1080p load on a 6800, I feel like it's gonna just absolutely, I mean, it's still gonna absolutely tank on this Sempron single core. But okay, we're just gonna hit the go button and see what happens. Oh boy, I'm kind of scared. I mean, the Sempron's idling at about 12 degrees Celsius right now. So I don't imagine it going much higher than probably 25 to 30 degrees. I don't have hardware monitor open. I don't know. Also it's got 16 gigabyte of DDR4 Corsair vintage memory that's spec to go up to 2400 megahertz in XMP setting. I do not have XMP enabled because, and I didn't have time, I was going to look it up, but I don't think the Sempron 145 supports 2400 megahertz, even if it's on this motherboard. I gotta look that up. I don't remember the exact correlation between the CPU and the chipset on these older 990 chipset motherboards. I don't break them out too terribly much, so. Did my camera freeze? No, it did not. Camera didn't freeze. And, yeah, still going. Okay, it's going to take like a hot minute for all the assets to load because, again, this is a one-core CPU. Windows and the Windows Task Manager and Radeon settings by themselves are enough to put it at 100% CPU load. So I'm probably, I doubt we will see more than 50% load on the 6800. I would be surprised. And actually, I didn't go in and change my MSI Afterburner Riva Tuner overlay settings, so I don't know what we're going to actually even see on this thing. I don't know if it'll actually even go. It's loading right now, but I'm kind of skeptical on if it's actually going to execute the graphics test. Oh, there it goes. Oh, it's doing it. It is doing it. So right now, yeah, CPU's at 14 degrees Celsius, 66 degrees on the GPU at 1840. I'm zero overclocks on anything. This is all just like motherboard defaults. This is AMD Radeon defaults and AMD Sempron 145 defaults. Just, man, why am I like this? Why? It's probably the booze. Although I had not had a single drop when I decided that this is literally the first setup I have installed this 6800 XT on, or it's not non-XT, the 6800 on. Like, it is literally come to my house, been taken out of a box, and been put on a Crosshair 5. that is its entire lifespan up to now, being fed frames by a Sempron 145. Sempron 145. What do we got specs? It's obviously like I said over and over again, it's a single core CPU. I'm fairly sure that it is the last single core desktop CPU that AMD has ever made. 2.8 gigahertz and 1 megabyte of total cache for the CPU. And this one was literally brand new in the box. I don't know if I believe that, but it's pretty convincing because I broke that seal right there, and the heatsink still has the paste grid for the thermal paste. This is funny because this CPU cooler very much reminiscent of another CPU cooler that I have also right here, a much newer CPU cooler. Yeah, so let's see. Yeah, the part numbers are different, but I can't really tell. I mean, I think the older CPU cooler fan has like the blades are like a little bit thicker top to bottom than these, or the angle of attack is a little bit steeper on these. But this is an Athlon 3000G stock cooler, and this is a Sempron 145 stock cooler, and they are almost identical. Yeah, I mean, like, seriously, they're the same thing. The fan model is, the fan blade profile is slightly different, and that is like it. Wow, that's interesting. So we're getting like a whole 11 frames a second on Time Spy Extreme here on a 6800 XT. So my plan here is to run Time Spy and Extreme, and then we'll notch it down to just regular Time Spy, and we'll see, because I actually haven't run Time Spy Extreme that I can remember in a really long time. So I will briefly, we'll just look at the score, and then we'll run regular Time Spy to where we can compare the 6800 with a single core processor against a 1080 Ti with as far of an overclock as I could possibly get it on a water block running chilled water, and a 9900K, yeah, 9900K on a 360 mil AIO, I believe, was what I ran that setup on. So we can compare just regular Time Spy numbers, but I wanted to run Time Spy Extreme just so I could take, maybe try to take some of the load off of the CPU by loading up the GPU as much as possible. But it doesn't look like that plan really is panning out, because CPU is still just getting absolutely hammered, just like me. Well, it's interesting. It's like 8 gigs of RAM on this one. Yeah, but I don't think the CPU's broken 20 degrees yet. So that's an interesting one. What the other thing that's interesting is, man, my stream is like way far behind. Like what's actually streaming out to you guys is way farther back than what I'm doing right now. It's interesting. It's usually closer together. Don't know what you did, but it's stopped now. Good, I guess. Yeah, I get some crazy reverb sometimes. So it's an artifact of running on this this laptop, running my streams on this laptop. The USB ports are extremely close together, so when I'm running the video capture card and the USB mic together, there's some USB crosstalk because this board is not extremely high. I mean, I know it's Microsoft Surface, but still, the board for the USB interface that's part of the keyboard setup here is like not the best, honestly. Actually, I don't even have it plugged in directly into the laptop. I have them running through a USB hub, because in the past that has reduced the crosstalk by having them both plugged into a hub and running through one USB port. That seems to have reduced crosstalk sometimes, but maybe I've plugged it into the wrong USB port this time. I don't know. Oh, we died. So, yeah. The Sempron cannot run the oh my god, I don't know what my cat's doing back there. I don't even want to know. The Sempron cannot run the graphics scores or the CPU tests in 3D Mark. It just absolutely cannot do it. it did get a 2,387 graphics score in Time Spy Extreme. Like I said, I haven't run Time Spy Extreme on really any of my hardware recently, so we're gonna go back to just regular Time Spy. It says, your PC is unable to run this test, but we're gonna make it do it anyway. Oh, it doesn't support SSE3. Oh, well, that sucks. CPU's too old. Will it run Firestrike? Actually, let's go back and do Firestrike Extreme. We gotta download Firestrike Extreme. Firestrike Extreme has not been a staple of mine either, to tell you the truth. But we're just gonna see. I'm just farting around just to see like what's what basically. So yeah, obviously, since it can't finish the Time Spy Extreme, and it doesn't have the instruction set to run regular Time Spy, I doubt it's gonna do a whole lot better in Firestrike Extreme. Yeah, I'm not sure it's gonna go very well for that little fellow in there. My cat is just, come here. You want to be on the stream? You want to watch us try to play computers? Of course, try to call a cat into your lap. Absolutely not. You're totally ignoring her. Then she will interpose herself between what you and whatever it is that you're giving attention to instead of her. But she definitely will not come to you when she has already got your attention. It's just not going to happen. Not gonna happen. And now she's all over my feet, and she loves the HDMI cord that's feeding the capture card. So that's fun. Alright. So just watching chat, watching this thing, watching this one little Sempron core. I forget what architecture Sempron is. Is that Vishera? I kind of want to look it up now. Yeah, I can't remember what architecture. Sempron 145. CPU roll for this. There it is. Cat. My lord. You're gonna kill me. So Sempron 145, K10 based Sempron microprocessor 145 was in May 2010. So this is a 10-year-old, brand new in box, single core CPU. Supports 2 DDR 1333 modules per memory channel. And it's clocked 100 megahertz faster than the Sempron 140. Loser 140. Who wants that garbage? I've got a 145, and it goes up 2.8. Yeah, 2.88 gigahertz. That's your wimpy 2.7. Nobody wants that. Okay, so I figured out what it is. So Misha says that it's back. It's when the signal is coming from the GPU to the capture card, when it's loaded up with signal from this, that's when it gets all crazy crap sound. So I'm probably going to disconnect the capture card and plug it into the other USB port on my laptop and see if that helps. I don't want to do it in the middle of it being loaded up, though. I don't know if it'll do anything wrong to it or not, but it shouldn't. But just in case, I want to let this run. So I will be quiet and let's finish. This is running this at 30 frames a second at idle and at like less than half of the boost clocks. It's just ridiculous. It's true, Misha. It will be true. It will be quiet. I'm surprised how much RAM this loads up. Not sure if the sound's still crazy or not, but yeah, once this benchmark finishes or dies, maybe dies, I will change the USB port and reset OBS. Hopefully that fixes it. It did complete. It did complete. Michigan said got FPS like Cyber 2077 on Xbox One. Oof. Oh, that's a big oof. Mm-hmm. I feel sorry for you. Ugh. Oh, here we go. Here's a cat. Whoa. Calm down. You got up here. You want to say hi to these fine people or what? No, not really. You just want me to distract me from whatever I'm doing. It's what you really want. Oh, you're so bad. And now you're going to hurry your face off. You want to climb my stomach? Stop that. Cat, I'm kind of doing a thing right now. Okay. I know you need all of the attentions, but you look like you're about to fall asleep anyway. And I have people who are watching. There's like 3 of them now, so I'm just gonna put you back down here and try not to like disconnect anything or chew any wires. Thank you. All right, 2,371. So I just want to see like, okay, they changed the compare results. Oh, Fire Strike Extreme. God. Never mind, because I don't really run Fire Strike Extreme. If you run Fire Strike Extreme, then take that for what it's worth. That would be your score with a single core. What did I say? It was K10 single core CPU and well, crap. Yeah, single core K10. I think is K10 the architecture? I can never remember. My brain's going. I have to remember too many things for my job to remember what K10's architecture name is. But anyway, Mr. Bigglesworth. She hasn't lost all her hair yet, so maybe not. Let's hope. She does actually have a bald spot right behind her head on her neck. I'm not sure she's self-conscious about it, but I'm kind of self-conscious about it, but whatever. She's a great cat. So, yeah, graphics score. So this thing managed to pull like almost 7,000 graphics being hamstrung by a single crappy 10-year-old core. And, of course, you can see what the physics and the combined scores are. Those are not very strong. Yeah. So, yeah. Oh, no. I got that reference, Jersey. For sure. I am kind of in a layer. I don't have any sharks with laser beams on their head. But, yeah. I might be working on that. But that's on the down low. Okay. So let's move on to a benchmark that I actually have like comparable data for. I've been doing this stream for like half an hour now, and I've managed to run all of the benchmarks that I don't have comparisons for. So let's run Fire Strike. Regular, good old Fire Strike. And see how that compares, because I have a crap ton of results, online that we can compare that to. So, Mishka had to look it up. How old are you? So we're going to run Fire Strike now. And this will probably be... Oh, no, we're going to run Fire Strike and then we're going to run Skydiver. And then we're going to run a new benchmark that I have just started messing around with called Catzilla. Catzilla 4K, actually, we're going to run it on. I've been preparing my hardware to try to, preparing. I've been killing my hardware trying to benchmark Catzilla 4K for the Country Cup for Hardware Bot. It's all my fault that everything died. The end. That's just as plain as I can put it. I just killed a bunch of stuff because I got sloppy and I was trying to move too fast. And water and powered on electronics just don't mix. So I was very careful and cautious as I set up the bench here today. No leaks. Well, that makes sense. You either had to be much younger than me or much older than me. Or, well, not much, but somewhat older than me to not get the Austin Powers reference. One or the other, really. If you were a Gen, Zer like me, I'm not using the work chiller right now. Jason, it totally does work. The work chiller absolutely works up a treat, but it requires fresh sacrifice of ice replenishment on a fairly consistent basis. And I wasn't going to waste it on this little single-core 10-year-old Sempron CPU that's on the bench right now. So, yeah. But I had some fittings fail. I had that was all my fault that I didn't check them, and then I had a fitting that just wasn't there because I didn't put it in. And got water on 2 different motherboards and 2 different processors and 2 different GPUs. So yeah, it was a lot of money actually down the drain. So that was a shame. But hey, I'm back. I got a new thing, and it's awesome, and I'm having fun. But the work chiller definitely does work. It's actually making loud noises beside me right here inside of this kegerator. I forgot to flip those back around. Is the noise back? Look at this thing. It's not even like, it's not even, it doesn't even need fans. Oh, now it needs fans. Oh, and it froze. I made it angry. I've angered the fire strike gods because I clicked my mouse. What I'm just going to do is restart. Okay. While we're restarting, I'm going to unplug my screenshot feed here. Are you okay? My mic is going. Video capture. It should. Hold on 1 second. I'm gonna deactivate and then activate. Is that not working? Why is this not working? So usually, if I activate and then and then reactivate it, it comes back. But for whatever reason, it's decided to be a little punk and not come back. Oh, it's kind of warm. So let's see if I can just like get properties here. Yeah, it says it's mirror box. Cat, you're killing me. Let's remove it. Add video capture device. Okay. Okay. There we go. Mouth breather mic. Deactivate. Activate. Okay. So hopefully that is like still working and streaming. I'm not Gen Z, I'm Gen X. Like 100% Gen X. Don't get it twisted. So, let me know if all the vid feed comes back. Okay. Let's see. And should be coming back now. Log back in Steam. Steam. Okay, so what was that? That was Firestrike that failed. Shocker. We had a synthetic benchmark failure running a single core CPU with a 6800 RX 6800. That is just absolutely. I can't even tell you how shocked I am. Actually, what I want to do right now is I want to check on the monitoring. I want to get a little bit more fidelity. Let's see. GPU usage, yes, I want to see that on screen display. And memory usage, I want to see that on screen display. Core clock, was it showing core clock before? I don't remember showing core clock. Memory clock, I don't really need memory clock. Oh yeah, it was showing, GPU core clock, don't need fan speed, don't need fan timer, CPU temperature's good, CPU usage, we know it's 100%. RAM usage was interesting to look at. And it will actually not, it does not get CPU clock speed as of there's like no sensor that MSI Afterburner reads for CPU core clock monitoring for a Sempron 145. In case you didn't know that, now you know. Apply that. Let's see if hardware info can tell us the core clocks of a Sempron 145. Yeah, 2.8. Yeah, we're right on clock, right on time here. And then memory clock is 668, so that's 1333. Again, I'm not sure if a Sempron like supports RAM overclocking. It's a 2400 megahertz kit, but I seriously doubt it's going to be stable at anything above 1333. But I mean, I'm open to try anything once, twice if I like it, or just to be sure. Okay. So we're going to launch 3D Mark, and we're going to try Firestrike one more time, because I have a ton of comparative data that we can look at. Joseph Foy, hello. I'm not sure who you are, but welcome. You got a lot of auto echo. Yeah. So that is a problem with my setup. I'm not sure. I've taken multiple steps to try to remedy what causes that, and I'm not really sure if it's if there's feedback issues or what. I'm trying to get my computer away from the microphone there somewhat, but oh my god, come on, guy. The Mirabox capture card is a USB capture card, and the Samsung G-Track Pro is a USB microphone, and I'm streaming, my face. This camera is streaming over a pretty craptastic and very well used Surface Book from circa 2014, maybe 15, whenever they were brand new. So there's a lot of USB crosstalk for the microphones. Yeah, there's not a lot I can do about it. I tried. Let me see if I can turn the volume down some. Does that help at all? Turn the volume down a little bit? Not sure. Oh, wait, I've got two. Hold on. How about that? Is that better? Let me know. I had two audio sources active at once, and I'm not sure why. OBS picked up two and decided to use them both. Did that make it better? Let me know. Okay, so I know I can't touch anything if I want this to keep running. So, oh wait, did that have crap? Did that have the demo set up? If it's the demo, I'll just cancel out of it. We'll start again. Sort of, but pump up the volume a bit. How about now? Is that better? Can go a little bit louder here. Is that better? Man, Semprons are really slow. Oh, thanks, Jason. Yeah, I don't know why OBS had had the exact same Samsung G-Track Pro, but pegged as two different audio sources, like one for the Mirabox and one for the camera. So it was playing you two separate tracks off of the same mic. That's really weird. I've never seen it do that before. So yeah, kind of strange. But hopefully it's sorted out now. If it's too quiet, let me know. I can pump up the volume again here. But yeah, so this is just, if you're joining late or joining now, I see the viewership fluctuating or whatever. Welcome to the insanity of my basement. I'm Mike. This is my basement. Hang out here in the underbelly of the YouTube algorithm, and I do dumb stuff with computers mostly. I usually have a tasty libation. This is not water. And right now, I have a 10-year-old single-core K10 Sempron processor on a 990 super, like for the time, high-end 990 FX chipset, a Crosshair 5 Formula Z. And I put my brand new, literally got it in the package today, AMD Radeon RX 6800 on that, because I mean, why wouldn't you? Why would you not do that? I mean, really. And we're having a look and seeing how this does on a couple of synthetic benchmarks. Hopefully, it will get through. And I kind of messed this up. I can go. Actually, it's almost done now anyway. So we'll watch these guys fight. It's cool. But I'm gonna go through Firestrike one time, compare it to the results from a bunch of different setups that I run Firestrike on over the years, and then we're gonna run it through Skydiver one time, because those are really the only two physics tests that this will complete. It would not complete the physics test on Time Spy Extreme, and normal Time Spy says that it does not have the correct instruction set to start. So yeah, so we're relegated to Firestrike, regular Firestrike, and Skydiver. That's pretty much where we're at. And as you can see on your screen there, you do not have the Riva tuner overlay, and to tell us like what temps are or frequency or usage. And I've noticed that on this particular rig, because I was using this for a different benchmark with a different graphics setting, or graphics card setup, obviously, that in order to get the Riva tuner to pop up over top of the 3D Mark display, I have to click the mouse button. But I tried to do that just previously, and it froze everything. So there will be no mouse button clicking while this runs. I'm going to leave it alone, and hopefully it completes and gets us a score, and we can compare that to, well, I have a whole lot of RX 580 and 570 runs on Firestrike. I also have a bunch of, I'm pretty sure I have a bunch of GTX 690 quad SLI scores for Firestrike. So that'll be fun to see how a single core CPU on one of the newest single core GPUs compares to some old. Somebody give me a date on how old a GTX 690 is. Two of those, two GTX 690s running in quad SLI. What CPU was I running? That was on a 9900K. So yeah, we're going to compare it to all of those and see what this Frankenstein's monster. Nah, it's not. That's a slap in the face to Frankenstein's monster. He's way better put together than this is. This is an absolute travesty, honestly. But this is just the way my brain works. First thing I thought of doing was like, yeah, I want to put this with the absolute crappiest CPU that I own. That's insanity, and that's going to be great. 2012 for GTX 690 sounds right. We'll go with Mishka's expertise there. So yeah, so they're almost contemporaries, the Sempron and the GTX 690s. It's a shame that SLI and quad SLI, like, were never adopted. I guess the coding, like the actual programming in the games and whatnot, is just too time intensive, and just not really worth the benefit. The actual, just the time involved in getting games to work in that getting an API to support it, and getting the game code to be optimized for it and have at least decent scaling. Because I mean, honestly, if you don't have at least 50% scaling, why would you purchase a completely separate second GPU? Yeah, and then NVIDIA got it to where, the high bandwidth bridge and the NVLink was so fast they could actually pool memory across the link, and now they killed it. So it's true. Yes, ray tracing is definitely, I think, going to go the way of quad SLI and SLI eventually, regardless of what they did to Hardware Unboxed, and regardless of how all in NVIDIA is on ray tracing. I mean, technically, this card does ray tracing also. I I don't care. So I can't imagine, even when I buy Cyberpunk 2077 and play it, that I'm going to, enable ray tracing on this GPU. The performance hit is just too massive. Like, why? Why would you take a 40% performance hit for some fancy shadows? No. Just no. No, that did not crash. Okay, I thought it crashed there for a second. I saw the black screen behind me. I was like, ooh. But it is not dead. I'm not dead. I'm not dead. Interested to see what this results in. I'm also I kind of want to just like overclock the balls off of this little Sempron, but I really don't think it's gonna make a difference. Like, I don't think that it's gonna serve up frames like with any noticeable change in score for these synthetics. Like, I just don't think. Even if I could get it, it's 2.8 right now. Like, best case scenario, I mean, if I got it to, I don't know, 3.5, something along those lines, just mashed a crap ton of voltage into it, maybe 4 gigahertz. I don't think it would matter. Like, that's honestly my honest opinion. Is I don't think it would matter. If you're watching this as a concurrent viewer, I need to know whether or not the Sempron will support a higher RAM frequency than 1333. Will it support overclocking if it's on a 990FX chipset motherboard? It's just a giant pain in the ass to overclock the memory and then have it crash and then have to go through all of the like CMOS reset. This board in particular is really bad about if you have a memory crash on this board, for whatever a memory related crash on this board, you just cannot get back into BIOS. You can't do it. It just will not let you. I've done it on like 3 different CPUs now where I've been trying to overclock this memory, and as soon as you get to the limit and you step your toes over it, it crashes, and you have to just pull the cut power and pull the battery out of it and let it sit for 30 seconds so that you can get back and go back into default settings in order to get back into it. So I don't even want to try anything above 1333 until I know that it's at least supported as an overclock. All right, Firestrike 6,788. I can tell you right now that is like orders of magnitude below what this card right here will do with a decent Ryzen CPU. And by decent, I mean first gen Ryzen, fairly certain. So this is a Power Color Red Devil Golden Sample RX 580 8GB, and it's probably one of, if not the best RX 580 model out there. Period. I've owned. This is the third one I've owned. The first one was for my son's rig, and then I've owned 2 more to sell in other rigs, and they are just overclocking madmen. And this one is a hatchet. Like, it'll do. You can go into MSI Afterburner and max out every slider, and it'll run the most intense graphical benchmarks all day, every day. I mean, yeah, it pushes the fans to 100%, but I mean, you're smashing like tons of voltage and asking it to run at like 125% overclocks or more on an air cooler, and it'll do it. And there's a ton of RX 580s when you get into MSI Afterburner that their core clock sliders look way bigger than this one does, right? They go all the way out to like, I don't know, something stupid like 1600 megahertz. None of them will go past 1500 unless you got them on like chilled water or more, and you can figure out a way to unlock their voltage. This one will max out all of its sliders and hammer through whatever you throw at it. But this card right here would smash on with a Ryzen. Let's just look at it. Let's compare results online because I know I've got some. So RX 580 with a Ryzen, let's just say Ryzen 5 1500X, right? 4 cores, 8 threads, just hands this combo its ass on a platter. My results. Let's see. Sempron Firestrike, 2,388. Wait, is that right? Oh yeah, that's the total score. Even the graphics score is just like. So 2,388. That's like I got a 3000G that will beat that like all by itself. Let's see. Skydiver. We haven't run that yet. Yeah, here's my Skydiver overclocking for the Country Cup. Time Spy. Port Royal. Let's just do this. 3D Mark. Firestrike. I got 285 Firestrike results. So, yeah, total score 2,388 with a 6,000 something graphics score, right? GTX 690 on an i9 900K, 18,833, and that's 2 of them, I think. Or is that the single? Is that? Yeah, 4. Yeah, that's 2 GTX 690s in quad SLI on a 9900K gets you 18,833 versus 2,300 with a single core Sempron. That's the physics score, being weighted pretty heavily there. Let's see. These are all 690 scores from my successful run at the world's highest quad SLI 690 on anything but LN2. Let's see. So here's 6990 on a 10600K. So a 6990, which is, man, how old is that GPU? That's got to be about the same year as this one core Sempron, right? That's about 2010, right, for 6990. 7990 was like, well, maybe that's more like 2011, 2012 for 6990. I thought 7990 was 2013, something like that. Yeah, a lot higher, 3 times higher, and this is a single one. This is 2 or one 6990, so 2 GPUs, right? Yeah. One card, 2 GPUs, definitely smashing that on a 6-core 12 thread. But let's see like what a more mundane RX 580. If I can get back here, we got to go pretty far back in the. I did a lot of 6990 testing with the 10600K, and a lot of 690 testing with the 10600K. Keep on. Okay, here we go. A 1650 Super on an i3 9100F, 4 cores, 4 threads, and a bottom of the barrel. I mean, well, the one above the bottom of the barrel NVIDIA GPU would get you a 10,226 Fire Strike score versus a 2,388 if you couple a Radeon. Oh, it's so pretty. It's beautiful. It's a really pretty graphics card. Man, it's nice. So let's look at the graphics scores alone here. Graphics score 13,356, 6,000. So when hamstrung by a 10-year-old single core, you lose out to a 1650 Super by almost half, like 60. So double that, 12, 13, 4 versus 13, 3, 5. So it's almost exactly double. The 1650 Super almost exactly doubles up a 6800 when you pair it with a one-core processor. And I'm sure nobody thought that this would be like a surprise. This is not a surprise, right? But it is kind of a surprise at how big the hit is. That's crazy. Reading the chats here. No American flag on the Country Cup wallpaper. That is true. Yeah, a lot of your comments are popping in later. Yeah, the audio is good and now has echoing. I don't know. I don't know what to do about the audio, guys. I've run this exact same setup before and haven't had this issue, so I'm not sure what the problem is. You're right. It's not my usual drink, Mishka. I usually have a darker fluid in there, but not today. Times are tough. I'm just trying to save money and drink what I have as opposed to going to the store. Yes, the RX 580 is definitely still good for gaming. I'm not testing anything until I've tried a Voodoo 2. I'm going to leave that to you. Sounds back to good. So I think the sound is just is when this is spun up and it's sending a bunch of signal to the capture card. It's absolutely mashing the sound. I don't know what's going on. I know it's USB crosstalk. I just need a better rig. Yeah, that's the bottom line. So anyway, talking about, man, Crazy Town, how much you can, like, one core 10-year-old CPU. That's some CPU scaling. If you Gamers Nexus, eat your heart out, right? I got you down to one core. AMD's last desktop single core processor, one core. And I'm gonna have to, go back and I'm gonna download this stream and clean it up, and I'll probably just do a voiceover over the whole things and host it as another video. So let's see. All right. So where are we at? Yeah, 1650 Super on an i3-9100F. Whew, that's an ass whooping. That's der ass whooping right there. 10276 versus 2388. And then let's go back to the results and see. So here's a 1500X on a RX 570. Yeah, that is not kind. That is the unkindness right there. So graphics score 13.8 versus a 6.7. That's a doubling. He got double up. You got doubled up right there. Physics score 872 versus 12,000 points for an RX 1500X, right? That's funny. 4 times the cores, 8 times the threads. Yeah, you get smashed, and not even to mention the IPC, right? Yeah. So okay, we know this. I know this is ridiculous. You know this is ridiculous. Zorak knows this is ridiculous. But you know what? The hits are just going to keep on coming. We're going to do some Skydiver. One last
I want to see like how this compares heads up to a 3000G. I have a ton of 3000 of overclocked 3000G time skydiver runs, and I want to see like how this compares. So we're just gonna smash it one time and see what we get. I'm gonna not talk while this runs because the audio feedback I think gets worse. get a result? Is it gonna finish? There it is. There it is. 4,842 with a graphics score of 18,581. So let's compare these results here. Oh boy, this is gonna be kind of hilarious. So let's go to my results. Oh, 3D Mark, Skydiver. Okay, so our result here is 4,842. My best result with an AMD Athlon 3000G. This is a CPU with integrated graphics. This is basically a glorified laptop processor. 2 cores, 4 threads, integrated Vega 3 graphics. 7,129. Let's look at the details on that score. Now, granted, I was smashing voltage into that Athlon. Like, Mishka, I'm not ex-military. I am active duty right now. Me and Jason are like both about a year out from retirement or so. Well, I don't want to speak for Jason. He'd probably stay in because he's an officer, but I'm done with this shit. So, graphics score 7,225. So graphics score 18,581. So that is like what I kind of expected to see. Sorry, I got cat hair all over my face. I can't imagine why. I kind of expected to see really high graphics scores and, you know, physics and combined scores that were just like in the toilet because of the single core. But that wasn't the case on Firestrike. On Firestrike, the single core processor really hamstrung what is a very, very, very powerful graphics card, which was kind of surprising to me. Yes, you and me both, Jason. Glue Factory bound. Oh man, we'll have a conversation about how bad my knees have gotten in the last like month, sometime this coming month or so. But what I expected to see was this, was the score very much like this, right? Like 18.5, like really ultra high, or I mean not even really ultra high, but like, you know, doubling up at least a Vega 3 in graphics, and then having these crap physics scores bring the overall score down. And that kind of happened here. I would expect to see graphics scores probably more in like the high 20s, honestly, or even low 30s for this card. But yeah, the physics scores here are actually a little bit higher than what I thought they would be. But overall, you know, when you compare the combined overall score of this setup here, one of not the most powerful, but one of the most powerful, newest graphics cards on the market, when coupled with an absolutely dog of a CPU, 1 core, 1 thread, on comparatively ancient architecture. Yeah, you really do like figure out, like, you know, where your scaling is. It's interesting though that graphically this was still able to muscle out the win. I should have run the Athlon on Firestrike one time just to see what it would do. But yeah, water under the bridge. Okay, so that was the last 3D Mark score I want, or benchmark I want to run with this. I want to run a new one that I haven't actually played with this benchmark very much. I played with it some last night and the night before, running a very unique setup. Let me say, I don't think people do the setup that I had running very much. Had that running very often, but it was a dual GPU setup in a, you know, SLI Crossfire type configuration. So 2 cards and 2 slots on this motherboard with a what did I have it on? 9370, AMD FX 9370, running at like 4.8 gigahertz. So, and that was getting me a score, I think, man, if memory serves, it was about 7,000 points. 70 something, 7,000 something points. So let's run Catzilla and see if it lets us even run the 4K benchmark. Cat, don't do that. Man, she's trying to like mess up everything, getting into the wires and all this stuff. If you're on here, one of the 3 concurrent viewers, I very much thank you. I know that's one of you is Jason, and one of you is Mishka, and one of you is probably Lurker. I had up to 8 at one point, or no, 5 at one point. I guess the audio problems chased them away. But yeah, so I like this benchmark because it's just kind of fun and irreverent towards benchmarks, because 3D Mark always seems to be kind of like a pretty serious gamery type backstory, world or whatever they come up with, and Catzilla's like, we're just gonna have fun with this. Okay. Says I've got an error. Not enough video to maintain smooth streaming. Where this says it's totally fine. I don't know who to believe. Let me text. Did the stream die? Don't die, stream. Please don't die. I'm not sure the cat is to blame for the bad audio. I mean, I'm not ruling it out. I'm just saying it's not 100%. Okay, says I'm still live. All right, Jason says I'm still live. Okay, I'm gonna run Catzilla 4K. This is another benchmark from the suite of phases for the Country Cup 2020 on HardwareBot, and that's the that's the background I got here. I've been doing a lot of testing, and as you can see, there are no American flags. Somebody pointed that out in the stream, right? No American flags. So the Aussies, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years. They basically have a national meet where they back a truck of LN2 up and they just benchmark the crap out of whatever hardware they need on liquid nitrogen, so that it's all running at like negative 120 to minus, I don't know, 180 degrees, and they can just overclock the snot out of it and pump massive voltage into it because there's no heat. I got a damn sink. That's what I'm working with right here, right now. So I'm doing my best. I've got a couple scores that are in the top 4 for the USA team. We're winning overall right now. If you'd like to support our efforts, that would be very much appreciated. But as it stands right now, this is where I'm at. I'm a little bit burned out about trying to get stuff up for the Country Cup, because I burned up a lot of hardware because I was trying to do it really fast and I got sloppy. So I'm taking a step back and I'm having a good time trying to run what is unarguably the best GPU that I own on the unarguably worst CPU that I own. So here we go. Catzilla 4K, Radeon RX 6800, Sempron 145. Enjoy. I'm gonna go get a libation. So it's been loading for a hot minute. I'm not sure if this is gonna. Ooh. I'm supposed to sing. Boof. Probably two more libations. Jason, it's a 175 and it's pretty new, so that would be ugly. Considering I have to be up in like 6 hours and 20 minutes to do PT in the pouring rain. So I think that died. I'm fairly certain that did not execute. Yeah. Reba Tuner's frozen. It's a black screen. Do the Control Delete and see what that does. Oh, well, alright, well, hold on. It might just be really, 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 really slow. Because it is a 10-year-old single core processor. How many times can I say that in this stream? I don't know. Oh, Mishka, you're pretty close. I'm that close to retiring for sure. This might finish after I retire. Wait, is that super fast ass or fat ass? I think it's fat ass. He's eating your garbage is the reason he's so fat, Jason. I'm about to call it. I'm gonna give it like maybe, I don't know, a few more seconds, but I think she did. He did. It did. What wrong you? I say you. He did. Tell me what animated series that quote is from. While I reboot this computer. Yeah, it's over. It didn't make it. It's funny because it's not like really, really for real crashed, because I could still get into like Task Manager or whatever. It didn't really crash. It's just the program just like is too much. The program's just too much. Yeah, the program just like, yeah, it's not in the cards. Little yeah. All benchmark.exe not responding. So let's just go ahead and do this, power, and restart. And let's just, yeah. We're gonna do that bad boy right there, cause that was a no, that was a non-starter. I don't know about swimming the Atlantic. I mean, you're probably never gonna swim the Atlantic, and it's probably never gonna complete. So I imagine you're about like on equal footing with the little single core trying to run Catzilla 4K. Yeah, restart anyway, buddy. Man, that, you know, I just said, you know, I haven't really messed with Catzilla 4K prior to the Country Cup. It hasn't been a benchmark that has been in my test suite or whatever. So I can't really say one way or the other whether or not I didn't know one way or another whether or not that CPU would run it. Now we know it won't. I imagine that is pretty indicative, right? So let's go through just the list of synthetics that this combination won't run. So I haven't done any actual gaming, This is my competition bench. So I'm running a debloated Windows 10 setup here on a 120 gig hard drive. So it's really cut down, right? I don't have a bunch of crap on here. I don't have any games on here. This is all just like synthetic benchmark stuff like Y Cruncher, Math Benchmark, Catzilla now, and then I've got Steam on here because I needed 3D Mark, and that's it, right? You know, there's a whole bunch of other like, you know, hardware benches and stuff that I'm doing on with this hard drive, but I don't have any games, and I wasn't even going to try to run an actual game on this setup because like probably, sorry, there goes the cat up the cat tree again. You know, probably the majority of modern games would just fail to even launch, much like Catzilla failed to launch on this setup here. But you know, this is a Crosshair 5 Formula Z, yeah, VZ, blah blah blah, XYZ. They throw those letters at things to make them sound fancy. So I am going to throw one more FX chip at this problem set, right? So let's go ahead and turn this off. Shut down. Shut down. Take me to the limit. Shut down. Does nobody know what Wrong You I Say You He Dead is from? Nobody knows what animated series that is? That's a shame. Alright, so I'm going to commit the cardinal sin of live streams and turn my back to the camera while I reconfigure my test bench. Okay. Turn that off. There's no water there. And then, yep, I'm going to turn the power supply off. And we're going to push the start button to get rid of residual energy in the caps. Hopefully. So the last time I took this, yeah, it did the same thing. This son of a bitch. Man. This is not, so that I'm using an XSPC Raystorm AMD CPU block. And it has stays, or it has like pegs, right, that man, what a pain in the ass. Let me see if I can get one of these out and I'll show you. So there's a back plate on the motherboard, right? And this little guy right here screws in to the backplate hole for AMD. It's a pretty standard setup. But every time I try to do a CPU block swap, these little things, I don't even know what the technical term for that is. This is just like a post. This post comes unscrewed. There's a little cap that goes down over this with the spring and everything for tension or whatever. And every time I unscrew it, instead of unscrewing from the post, it unscrews the post from the motherboard. It's super annoying. It's a first world problem. Yes, I got it. First world problems. Okay, so out goes the little Sempron. Thank you, my small friend, for your service. Your services are no longer required for this particular benchmark test, though. And then this one's still got freaking. And there goes the screwdriver. Don't need that for now. It's not my favorite. Like, just in general, I don't like it. I should get myself some of those thermal pads, like the graphite pads, to use instead. They're much cleaner and easier to work with. I think I just got thermal paste on one of the socket grids, but I think it'll be fine if I can just get you. Get in your home! Don't you want to go to your home? Oh my god. Oh, well, yeah, it's wrong way around. There it goes. Man. Kind of annoying. Alright. And here's my giant syringe of GD 900. If you have never watched Tech Yes City, he turned me on to this stuff. Hidden gem, for sure. I'm not like the hugest fan of his channel, because sometimes he's like, I built a 300 FPS gaming PC for $25 or whatever. He has some just kind of like super ridiculous BS gaming PC build stories about how much things cost him because he's got connections or whatever. As someone who's been building gaming PCs for like the past 3 years, I can tell you in the US that shit is just like, you're not doing it. Unless you're stealing it, or the people you're buying it from are stealing it, you're not getting it for the prices he's talking about. For sure. Alright. Put this stupid racetrack thing back in place here. Oh my god, this thing is a pain in the ass. Yep, I'm doing a CPU and water block swap live on camera. That's right, because I am that good. I am that good, guys. For real. I'm really not that good. I mean, I'm okay. But if I was that good, all of these freaking pegs would have stayed in when I took the water block off. If I was that good. Ugh. Such a pain in the butt. Come on, get off of there. Alright, spring first. Fine. Safety first. Alright, I didn't drop any of the washers into an unmanageable crevice, so there's that. So I guess you could say I got that going for me. Okay. Alright. So now we do washers and springs and caps to get the tension down on the CPU IHS. And then I'm going to fire it up and we're going to see. I don't really know what the difference between a K10 core and a Vishera core is as far as IPC goes. I didn't do a whole lot of homework before I started this stream, but you know, I'm assuming there is some. And I'm pretty sure this CPU is a Vishera core CPU. Fairly certain. I mean, my memory is not the greatest. It's not so much that my memory is not the greatest, it's that my memory is like taxed to remember a whole like metric butt ton of extraneous crap. That's not computers. So yeah. Okay. new multi-core CPU from an AM3 compatible socket generation of AMD CPUs, right? So the core core IPC, I don't think will be a huge leap forward over the Sempron 145. Okay, so as you can see here, now I know that this will at least do the where are you? Oh, this motherboard's BIOS always throws me off. There we go. And then DDR3. So we're gonna be at 2400 megahertz on the RAM at 11, 13, 13, 31, 2, 1.65 volts, and we should be running 4.4 megahertz as opposed to 2.8 on the single core. And oh wait, monitor, fan speed. Oh, it's still at NOR. Okay, awesome. Exit, save changes, and reset. Yes. All right. So now, if you weren't paying attention, I think I've mentioned this CPU already a couple times. I'm going to transition from. Oh, hold on. Let me catch up on chat here. 2 more libations. Fat ass raccoon. Little of both. Swim the Atlantic. Jason says, I bet the Aussies don't have problems with removing hardware. Jerk. You know what? I hope they don't. I hope that they're better than me because I want to be beat by someone who's better than me, not with someone who just has a metric ass load of LN2. So there. I hope they don't have trouble removing hardware. But you know what? I do. Not hardware in general, specifically an XSPC Raystorm AMD CPU block. I have trouble removing that son of a bitch. It is not my favorite. It works though. I mean, it does a pretty good job cooling AMD CPUs. Comes with age. Oh, Mishka throwing out the, oh, I'm older. I'm so much older than you, Mac. I'm an old guy. Stop it. Boy. Okay, so I have replaced our sad little Sempron single core Sempron 145 K10 core CPU with a big, bad, scary, super hot, high clocking AMD FX 9370. 8 core, 8 thread. I have to put the quotes up when you say 8 core. I don't know how many cores the courts said AMD could say it was. Is it 4? Is it like 2.5? Like, I don't fucking know. Jesus. My phone's going off. What's going on? Oh, thanks for the heads up, Jason. Oh, my phone's telling me, hey, your old ass better get in bed soon because you have to be up at 4:50 in the morning to do PT with a bunch of 20 and 1-year-olds and younger. All right, so we know that the single core could not run Catzilla. Got it. Who are tracking if you're in the Army. So now we're going to try it with, what do you get when you run it with an 8 core? 8 cores. quote unquote 8 cores. 6800, 9370, Catzilla 4K. Except it froze. How does it freeze now? This is like easy stuff. How does it freeze now? This CPU ran this damn benchmark like all day, like 4 times yesterday. That is funny. That is funny to me that it's now with a better CPU that it freezes on launch of the app. I can't. I can't even. Cat, just bite its leg off. Oh, and you stole my seat. You bad little bitch. Get out of there. All right. So I am going to. I just don't like it when the silent fan. Oh, it keeps freezing up. Okay, well, evidently the single core Sempron is more reliable than my 9370 that ran this bench like perfectly last night. I don't know what to say to that. This card is fairly warm, but I mean it's not like out of control warm. For sure. I mean, there's nothing. Nothing that I would be like, oh crap, that's not good. But yeah, it's strange. Strange that I got better CPU and less stability, and the cat is just being an asshole. That is not strange. That's pretty normal, actually. So, yeah, I really don't know what to make of that, unless, I don't know. I did, like I said, I think I did get a little bit of thermal paste in one of the CPU pin sockets, but I've done that a million times before and never had any issues with it, so I don't know exactly what's going on or why it decided to all of a sudden start freezing up with the new CPU, unless it is the RAM. What's the RAM feel like? RAM is not warm at all, so that's strange. Yeah, it's surprising. I mean, yeah, like I said, I was running Catzilla 4K with 2 GPUs in Crossfire. I probably ran it at least a dozen times last night. But, you know, I took the mount off and mounted the silly 1-core Sempron and changed all my BIOS settings. So maybe there's something in there that I need to go back and tweak around or whatever. But you know what? That wasn't the point of this live stream. The point of this live stream was like, holy crap, I wonder what happens when you put a 10-year-old 1-core processor with an extremely cutting edge, brand new RDNA 2 6800 XT graphics processing unit, GPU as it's known in the parlance of the day. And what I can say is first and foremost, you should not. You should not do that. If you own a computer with a one-core Sempron 145 processor, you should probably throw it in the garbage. That's what I would. I would take it to Best Buy or your local electronics recycling, and I would give it to them. That's what I would do with that. I definitely would not pair it with this lovely and gorgeous processor. That is not a thing that I would do. This thing right here above my head. Oh, look at it. Oh, ooga chaka, ooga chaka. Man, it is just. It's nice. Like it is. That is like really. I'm. I feel like I don't know. Yeah, if you got kids, you know. If you got kids that are my age, I guess. You know The Emperor's New Groove. You know who Kronk is, and I love that scene where he's like, "Oh, I can feel it." Like this GPU right here is like, "Oh, I can feel it." Yeah, it's a chunk. Oh, it is like solid. But yeah, that's the end of my silly live stream. I think I took the absolutely best graphics card that I own, and I paired it with the absolute worst. Well, maybe second worst, considering that it wouldn't even boot and stay stable with the 9370. Maybe the 9370 is actually the worst CPU I own. Who knows? But on paper, at least, the Sempron 145 is definitely the worst CPU I own. And it performed as expected. Yeah, definitely hamstrung this just madman of a graphics card for sure. I'm gonna hopefully have a lot more content regarding the 6800 over the next few days. I am still trying to push a few more benchmarks toward our Country Cup, and that's taking up a lot of my time and resources for sure. If you'd like to support, I do have a Patreon. You can go to my channel homepage. There should be a link if you go to the channel page itself. If there's not, I'll edit this and put a link in the description of this live stream for later. But on that note, on that bombshell, on that terrible disappointment with the 9370, I really did want to get one run of Catzilla 4K. On that terrible bombshell, good night.